So hello, and in this video we are going to talk about the Mauryan Empire. We will start with the sources of information that how do we get to know about this empire, followed by the famous Kalinga War which changed the personality of Ashoka. Then we will analyze the administration of Mauryan Empire, followed by the philosophy of Dhamma which was spread heavily by Ashoka the Great. So getting started with the sources of information, so we have two types of sources here, literary sources and archaeological sources. In the literary sources, we have two books, Indica and Arthashastra, and in the archaeological sources, we have two major sources. First is Ashoka's edicts, which include Major Dock Edict, Minor Dock Edict, and the Pillared Inscription, and other is the stupas, the Sanchi Stup, the Sarnath Stup, the Amaravati Stup, Bharuta Stup, etc. and all. So, getting started with the literary sources, first is Indica. Indica was written by Megasthenes. Megasthenes was a Greek ambassador in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. He was appointed by Seleucus Nicator in the court of Chandragupta Maurya because Seleucus Nicator was defeated by the Chandragupta Maurya. And this person, Megasthenes, wrote Indica because he had a great experience because he lived at Patliputra for 5 years. Major highlights of Indica, major contents of Indica includes the organization of Mauryan army. It also throw highlights upon administration of Mauryan Empire. It also tells us about the economy of Mauryan Empire as well as the customs, religion and beliefs of the Mauryan Empire. Now coming to the Arthashastra. Arthashastra was written by Chanakya, or also named as Kautil, or we can also call him as Vishnugupta. Arthashastra is one of the ancient book on the topic of statesmanship and economics. It has 6,000 verses, which is typically divided into 15 sections, which includes the administration of empire, duties of a king, functions of ministers, organization of civil service, diplomacy and foreign relations. This content of the Arthashastra is not confined to Mauryan empire only, because Chanakya wanted this epic to be a guide for the posterity. So he is basically here advising the rulers that how should your duties be like, how should a council of minister function. Okay, so it also states that the ideal state should provide relief to the poor, orphans, old and infirm who has no one to take care of, and during famines the state should open their granaries for those who are starving. So Arthashastra is more inclined towards the political aspect than the economic element. Now coming to the archaeological sources, so first of all is Ashoka's edict. The edict, what do we mean by the edict? Edict means an official order or a proclamation. Totally there are 33 edicts in total, which are categorized into three categories. Major Dock Edict, here you can see one of the Major Dock Edict at Girnar, Gujarat. Then we have Minor Dock Edict, this you can see Minor Dock Edict at Meerut. And then this is Pillared Inscription. This is one of the Pillared Inscription located in Bihar. So the edicts can be categorized into these three categories. So in the stones and on the pillars, the messages of Ashoka's were written, and this also gives us a good highlight regarding the Mauryan Empire. Now, which language was used in those edicts? So three languages were used: Prakrit, Greek, and Aramaic. Most of the inscriptions which are located in the Indian subcontinent has Prakrit used in it, but some also has like an inscription located in Afghanistan has Greek as well as Aramaic language, which was popular in that area. So languages used are Prakrit, Greek and Aramaic. Now coming to the stupas, which are also one of the major archaeological sources. So first we should get a know-how about stupa. So stupa is a semi-spherical dome which is made up of unburnt bricks and stones. What is the purpose of building a stupa? So two purposes are there. First is to commemorate a sacred spot or an event. When you go to Sarnath, there is also a stupa which was built on order of Ashoka. This was done to commemorate Dharma Chakra Pravartan, or to commemorate the deliverance of first sermon by Buddha. Okay. And the second purpose is to store the relics, store the remainings of Buddha, be it his hair, teeth, bones and any type of his belongings. Stupa of Sanchi, here you can see the image of a stupa of Sanchi, and this is the spherical, semi-spherical dome which I am talking about. This is the gateway, this is the railing. Earlier it was used to be wooden railing in Sanchi stupa, but later it was replaced by stone railing. So stupa of Sanchi was also built on the order of Mauryan Emperor Ashoka in 3rd century BC. Apart from stupa of Sanchi, Sarnath Stup and Amaravati Stup, Bharuta Stup are also built on the order of Mauryan Emperor Ashoka. The Sanchi Stup has 4 gateways: east, west, north and south. Originally, Sanchi Stupa had wooden railing, as well as the ancient Stupa used to had wooden railing only, which was later replaced by stone railing for the purpose of longevity. Now coming to the Kalinga War, which had profound impact on the life of Ashoka. So this Kalinga War was fought by Ashoka and the ruler of Kalinga. This Kalinga is located in the modern day state of Odisha. The death and the devastation caused by this war changed the personality of Ashoka. Afterwards, he stopped eating meat, gave up the life of luxury, adopted Buddhism, and made this as a state religion. A saint named as Mogaliputta. He was very crucial in making Ashoka follow Buddhism. And after he adopted Buddhism, he became tolerant, he became non-violent, and he led the prisoners of war to do agricultural work, which in turn increased the production and economic development in the empire. And this agony of destruction caused in the Kalinga War can be seen in the rock edict 13 because it is described there. Ashoka is describing how much he was agonized after seeing the destruction caused by this war. So this war changed the life of Ashoka completely. Earlier he was completely violent, brutal and expansionist, and after this war he was now more focused on the state welfare than the expansion. Now moving towards, we should know that how long this empire was, because this empire is considered to be one of the greatest empire in the world. So the extent of empire, the modern empire was at its peak during the reign of Ashoka, and it was expanded to Afghanistan in north. Here you can see in the map, it was expanded from Afghanistan in north to Karnataka in south, Bengal in east to Balochistan in west, and Patliputra was the capital. Here you can see Patliputra is located. Other than Patliputra, there were four provincial centers. Here is the first Tosali, which was located on the eastern side. Then we had Ujjaini. Then other provincial center was Suvarnagiri in the Karnataka, and one was Takshila in the Pakistan, modern day Pakistan. So that was all about the geography of empire. Now coming to the administration of empire. So the Mauryans followed an elaborate system of administration. Means they had maximum governance system. Means huge council of ministers, huge number of officials, and this foundation of administration was led by Chandragupta Maurya under the guidance of Chanakya, because Chanakya was the kingmaker as well as the prime minister of Chandragupta Maurya. The son of Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusar, did not change the system and followed the same one. But Ashoka, however, made some minor changes in the system of administration because he needed to make some changes as per his requirements. Major sources to know about the administration of modern empire are Arthashastra as well as Indika and the Ashoka's edict. Now we will come to know about the provincial administration in the Mauryan Empire. So basically there were 5 provinces during the reign of Ashoka. Earlier the number of provinces was only 4, but after the Kalinga War, Kalinga was also added as the 5th province by Ashoka. So the 5 provinces were Takshila in the northern part, Ujjain in the western part, Tosali in the eastern part, Suvarnagiri in the modern day Karnataka southern part, Kalinga as well as it was also located in the eastern part. So these were the 5 major provinces. Before Ashoka, only 4 provinces were there, and these 4 were the provincial centers. Okay, from there the provinces used to get regulated. Now coming to the philosophy of Dhamma, which was spread heavily by the Ashoka, the edicts of Ashoka carried the message of Dhamma. When it comes to the principle of Dhamma, there are few basic principles, core principles like purity of domestic life and truthfulness, a righteous way of living, which was preached by Buddha himself. Then it also says to follow tolerance, non-violence, and it also says to focus on kindness to living creatures and liberty to ascetics and brahmas, because Ashoka himself was a Buddhist, but he also paid attention to other ascetics of Ajivika sect, of Jainism sect, and he also built a cave, Barabar cave in Bihar, which was dedicated for Ajivika ascetics only. So this was in the core philosophy of Dhamma, that you need to be kind towards the living creatures and you need to be liberal towards the ascetics, be it of any sects and the Brahmins. Apart from the edicts, Ashoka also appointed special officials named as Dhamma Mahamatta to spread the philosophy of Dhamma. That's all in the video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next lecture.